I'm Sean from Fabrication.com. This is my buddy Frank. We're going to teach you how to fit and notch tubing. Now this is some of the things you'll need to notch tubing and fit it up. You need something to find angles. You can find an angle finder like this at Home Depot. You can find these on Amazon. These are pretty expensive, or you can get the cheaper kind at Home Depot. They all work pretty much the same. You're going to need a tape measure or a ruler. You're going to need a spare piece of tubing that matches the size of this tubing that you're going to notch to. Marker, a string, a tape, and of course, a tube notcher. Alright, most videos out there today are showing you how to notch tubing without a tube notcher. But what's the point? You're going to do a whole cage and spend hours notching tubing with a grinder or a cutoff wheel? That's not going to work. So I'm going to show you how to do it with one of the cheapest notchers out there. This is a Woodward Fab tube notcher. It's only about $70. It's comparable to the Harbor Freight or the Eastwood Tools ones that are about the same price. These are known for wearing out because they're a bushing instead of a bearing, and they're not really known for their accuracy, but I'm going to show you how to use them with good accuracy. Alright, you can see this line here at the edge is supposed to be the 0 line, but right now it's not lined up at 0 because I put this at 0 and put it on the tubing to line it up, and it's zeroed out. But this is showing it's about 4 degrees off. So you really don't want to go by the degree wheel that's on the notcher. You want to get something like this to tell you what is really reading. Alright, first thing you want to do is you want to figure out where you want to put your tubing. This is simulating the 2 bars that are going to be in between a door. So we're going to build a mock-up door bar today. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to clean off your areas. I like to use a D8 with about a 80 grit sander, just because it takes off the mill scale, but it doesn't take out any metal. But you can use a flat wheel, just try not to take out a lot of metal. Then you're going to take some string, and you're going to run it where you want to put your door bar. And just tape it into place. Alright, you want the string at the top of where you want your bar to be. So now this is going to simulate your door bar. So now we're going to figure out the length of tubing that we need. This is 1.5 inch tubing. So when you notch 1.5 inch tubing, you want to use 1/3 of the tubing width as a measurement. So you're going to take a 1/2 inch and you're going to mark it on your tubing. Then you'll do the same on the other side. Next, you go ahead, you put your tape measure at each mark along that string and get your length of tubing that you're going to need. So this is at 17 3/8 inches. One thing you should know about tape measure, I'm sure not everybody knows, this little metal hook on the end, it wiggles. Some might think that's just because manufacturers suck. But really, that's a 1/16 of an inch. It's a 1/16 of an inch on every tape measure. So if you're measuring the inside of something, remember to always pull that out to get an accurate measurement. If not, you'll be a 1/16 of an inch off. Alright, so we figured out we need 17 3/8 total length. So you go ahead, measure out 17 3/8, and then we're going to mark it off. Then all you're going to do is go ahead and cut your tubing to length, whatever method you want to use. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the first angle we need to cut. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your angle finder on here, you're going to put it on the one bar that you need to notch another tube into. So So you put it on here, you're just gonna hit 0. Right? Don't worry about the point, whatever. That it's not really gonna matter. So you're gonna have this at 0, and then all you're gonna do is you're gonna rest this on your string. And we're at 18 degrees. So our cut will be 18 degrees. Well, 20. Alright, so you're going to load your tubing into the notcher. And you're going to put the angle finder on your notcher, and you can go ahead and 0 it out. Right? Then you go ahead and put this angle finder on your tubing, and you're going to loosen up your notcher. And you want to move it to the 20 degrees. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a 1/2 inch measurement, just like you did on that tubing, and you're going to mark it on this tubing. Alright, that's where you want your notcher to cut at. So you go ahead, release your notcher, release your tubing a little bit. You want to go ahead and line up that line with the teeth of your notcher, and then go ahead and tighten it back down. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and notch tubing. Highly suggest using cutting fluid. You really don't have to. Depends on how much money you got and how many hole saws you want to go out and buy. So then you're just going to cut it, but don't push down. Just let the weight of the drill cut it. Alright, after you make your cut, you go ahead and pull it out of your notcher. As you can see, it cuts nice, but it's not a very clean cut. All this thin parts need to come off. Looks like the camera just wants to focus on Frank. So go ahead and take it to any grinder, flap wheel, sander, whatever you have in your shop, and go ahead and clean off all these thin spots and round out the edges a little bit better. Alright, you can see this is the fit up. It's a nice tight fit up, great for TIG welding. Now we're going to go ahead and start on the other side. And now we're going to find the angle for the other notch. So again, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that on that tubing and 0 it out. Right. Then you're going to measure the obtuse angle, which is the bigger angle. So you're going to put it on the bottom here, and you're going to measure it. We're about 14 degrees. So that's what your angle is going to be in the notcher. So this is the way you notch your last one. You got to remember that the angles are opposite on when you're doing a notch like this. So you want to just take the bar and just totally flip it. And go ahead and load it in the notcher. Again, you want to make your mark at about 1/2 inch. So you know where to line up your notcher. Alright, to make sure that you are notching at the right angle, you want to take your spare piece of tubing I told you in the beginning you needed. You're going to put it in that notch you already cut. And you're going to put a level up to it. And you're going to make sure that that is level before you cut. That'll keep your notches lined up straight. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and cut this side. Now we're going to go ahead and test our fit up and make sure we did everything correctly. It looks like it's fit perfectly. Now go ahead and get the mill scale off and you're ready to weld. That's it. Tube notching is pretty easy. If you have any any questions, leave them in the comment section. I have no problem answering them. Make sure you subscribe. We got a lot more videos coming. Follow me on Instagram, Warfighter Fabrication. Go to my website, warfighterfabrication.com, or you can follow us on Facebook.